Must be nice to have that much free time.
Dude, tell me about it.
And you call yourself
cool,
a Linux tuber, Gardner.
Oh, I know, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm content. I'm content with the stock GNOME experience, dude. I love it. And yeah.
Well, hey, there we go. I could be the janitor for one of those yachts where I get to take it out. I'll do
there
that.
you go.
I'll be that.
Hey,
employee.
Gabe Newell, it's me, your illegitimate son. I deserve a yacht.
Exactly.
Dude. Welcome to Off the Console, the hottest new podcast that's all about gaming, tech news, and anything nerdy. I'm High Tech Lowlife, and I'm joined by my friends Gardner Bryant and Games Revealed. And this week, there's a lot going on this week. It's been a boring week for us in our daily lives, but in the world of video gaming, it's been quite exciting.
Yeah.
We have Bungie being accused of literal art theft. We have reports of Valve being hacked, but then Valve showing up and saying that they haven't been hacked, in fact. And then we have some stuff about the Steam Deck, or rather SteamOS. And finally, AI Darth Vader. And then some more topics as well. So, what have you guys been playing, Gardner? Let's start with you.
What have I been playing? I have had no time for video games this week, unfortunately.
Doom?
Although-
Did you get to Doom?
I did play Doom. Yeah, I was gonna say Doom.
Wow.
The Dark Ages. I played it for probably, I don't know, solid 10, maybe 12 hours. So I guess I did have time for video games, but it didn't. The reason I didn't mention it is off the top because it didn't really stand out to me, and I'm not a huge fan of it, honestly.
What?
Yeah.
Not a fan of Doom the Dark Ages?
Listen, I really, really, really loved Doom Eternal. I love Doom 2016. Doom the Dark Ages just doesn't slap for me. It doesn't hit the way I wanted it to.
I haven't got to it yet. I've been too busy playing something else.
Yeah, I wrote like a 2,000 word article about it. And I'm thinking I want to make, at some point, I'd like to make like a really long Nakey Jakey style video about exactly why it didn't work for me.
Oh no, the Doom fan base is gonna crucify you.
You know what? So be it.
I don't know if they're gonna. I don't think the Doom fan. They're there for the music.
But Mick Gordon's not even there
Didn't
too.
slap for me, honestly.
Mick Gordon's gone, so
Yeah.
You know what happened though? What else I played this week? Emily and I sat over here and we played WarioWare for the Wii, and that was pretty fun.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's a good one. That's a good one.
yeah.
That's fun. Oh,
Now, what about you, James? What video games have you been playing?
Expedition 33. I got into it finally. I have my computer set up right here. I have an extra monitor so I can do work and also play it. So,
Are you sure it isn't to play the game and then have the wiki on the other on the other monitor?
Not yet. I don't feel like I've had to use it yet, but I'm only a couple hours into it.
True that.
It's really fun. I really like it. I definitely recommend it, even to some people that might not like turn-based RPGs. It's just very unique, and I think it's because it's French-based, meaning, you know how JRPGs have a little bit of like a Japanese undertone to it oftentimes. This one has more of a French undertone. I mean, you can see the Eiffel Tower in the background melted in some scenes. It's very French, which is honestly great. It's just great to get a different cultural take on things. So I'm really liking it. It's really good. Like this, we'll see when I finish it though. But I've heard a lot of this though that this could be game of the year. So I would be. The only thing that I could think of that could beat it so far is maybe a Half-Life 3 coming out. I don't know.
A Half-Life 3 coming out?
Yeah, Half-Life would take it for me, but I haven't.
Well, right now I think there are two games that realistically stand the test that could stand up to being Game of the Year this year. Doom the Dark Ages. I know Gardner doesn't like it, but
it's doing decent in the reviews, and I'm excited to play it, but yeah.
And then Clear Obscure Expedition 33.
Yep.
Yeah, so I've been playing. I got back into Diablo 4 because I like my number simulators. You know me too well, James. I played Diablo and Disgaea, so you know I'm a number cruncher kind of person when it comes to my gameplay. But also, I've also been going through the 100 line again. So, I beat the game. Oh, sorry, I thought. But it turns out that was just a prologue. And the game, like, opens up exponentially. And, I wasn't planning on playing Expedition 33 after I beat 100 line, so fuck.
You gotta play it. You really have gotta play it. It's really good.
I know.
I'm shocked you haven't played it yet.
Yeah, I know. I'm shocked I haven't played it either. I was gonna that was gonna be my order of operations: play 100 line, beat it, maybe even 100% it if I really liked it, and then play Expedition 33. But damn, it's a long ass game. Maybe I'll just put it down for a little bit and then play Expedition 33, beat it, and then go back to it.
Yeah, you might need to. Like, Expedition 33 can take between 30 hours or 60, I think, is what they how long it takes to beat. So if you want to completion it, like, be a completionist, that is, like, 60 hours is about what it is.
I'm a fast reader, so I can cut down my JRPG time in half usually.
Nice.
But are you? Yeah. No, I hear you on that. And there's like, in the beginning is just like a lot of JRPGs has like long cutscenes and a lot of intro to get through. That's the only critique that I'd have so far, is I really don't like long intros, because if I want to go replay it, I don't usually want to play the intro again.
Dude, I feel the same way about Ocarina of Time, to be honest. Not a JRPG, by the way. But every time I want to play Ocarina of Time, I always dread having to go through the Kokiri Forest areas.
Yeah.
Man, the Zelda fans can crucify me for this, but I cannot stand the intro to Ocarina of Time. Maybe I just played it too much.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Ocarina of Time in general. Like, it's
what?
Yeah, I like Majora's Mask way more, and
okay, that's fair.
And I'm really a Link to the Past kind of guy. That's
my man. Yeah. That's my favorite Zelda too.
That's one of the first games I remember. The first two games I ever remember playing was Super Mario Bros. 3 and Link to the Past. And so I think that's kind of why it sticks.
Yeah,
Wind Waker for me.
That's one.
Wind Waker's the only one I've beaten too. So
oh, really?
That's one thing that I really like about Link to the Past. It doesn't take very long to get to the action.
Oh yeah.
You wake up in your house. You go over to the well. You find your what was it, your uncle? I think it was.
Yeah,
Link's uncle?
Yeah, your uncle. Yeah.
Does he have a name? I
can't remember. I don't think he does.
Oh shit! Well,
now I gotta look it up.
He gives you his sword, and then you start fighting the Hyrule guards to save Zelda, and then the game really begins.
Yeah, he's just called Link's uncle on the Zelda wiki. So,
wow,
dude, though, here's the thing. I agree with you, High Tech, and that's how I feel about most games all the time. And that's one of the things that really fucking bothers me about Doom: The Dark Ages.
Oh no!
When you start Doom 2016, right? It's like you have Samuel Hayden monologuing, and then as you emerge from the sarcophagi, you fucking punch the monitor. Like, get out of here! I don't give a fuck about this pretentious bullshit. And then like you descend down that elevator with and then right with the music. And then Doom: The fucking Dark Ages starts with like a 6-minute cutscene, and it's like, dude, it's like pretend it's everything that 2016 was making fun of, dude. And that's one of the major points that I want to hit on in a video if I make one, about how it just doesn't feel like Doom anymore.
You can just skip it.
You can skip it, yeah. But
thank goodness.
But I sat through it.
Well, I'm gonna set through it the first time or two, but
when you start the game
Eternal,
up again.
I played multiple times through.
Yeah,
and I have to be able to skip certain parts.
Yeah,
the cutscenes, yes.
Yeah. Not necessarily all the cutscenes, just usually the intro. I don't know. I don't need it. Yeah,
it pissed me off. Anyway, I was very disappointed.
That is annoying.
Man, that is probably the hottest take of the week. Gardner not liking Doom Eternal. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, I wasn't either. Well, actually, I saw some of the trailers and shit for Doom: The Dark Ages, and I was like, doesn't really look like Doom to me. It looked more like Quake, honestly.
It does a little.
Yeah, like with the environments.
Yeah, the environments, but even like the main mechanic in the game is your shield, and you can, like, if there's green energy attacks coming at you, then you can like parry it with your shield. And I don't know, like there are some bosses or like monsters that will throw like orange and green energy at you, and you have to dodge and parry, and you have to like move into the path of the green attack and then hit it with your shield. And it just it doesn't satisfy me the way I want it to. Like there's like this what's the word, flow state that you get into with Doom and Doom Eternal, where it's like it's literally rip and tear, right? You're like shooting and attacking and glory killing, and with the music everything just flows perfectly. But with Doom with the Dark Ages, I just don't get into that state. And in fact, trying to like strategize and move into the path of the different things, and nothing takes me out of it more than having to think about how I'm attacking and what weapon I'm supposed to be using. Like Doom Eternal, you don't have to think about that. You just do it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a very rhythm-based slaughter.
Yes.
I love it. No, and this is you're like we'll see. I'll play Doom: The Dark Ages this coming week.
Yeah.
Because I was planning on. Honestly, I was thinking about taking Monday off and playing it.
Don't let my criticism distract you or diminish your.
My
experience.
concerns were that I don't like prequels really that much, but
Really?
it's done in such a way that I'm like, okay, this might not be too bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, the rhythm part, if it throws it off too much, I was not expecting this to be better than Doom Eternal. Just, I don't know how it could, because Doom Eternal is just so good. It's a 10 out of 10 game for me.
Oh, yeah.
So, we'll see.
Yeah, I had one guy, I wrote my article, and then in my video this week, I pointed people to the article about it. And in the article, I was like, I can't tell where this game takes place. Like, does it happen before Doom 2016 or after Doom Eternal? Like, I literally can't tell, because like they didn't really show a lot of this in the trailer, but like it's basically Gears of War but set in hell. Like you're wearing like a fur coat or a fur cape or whatever, but besides that, there's
sick.
literally fucking like anti-gravity like ships flying around, and like so the trailers made it look like it was like set in the Dark Ages, like a medieval style, but like in the first cutscene there are dudes with glowing helmets and radios talking to each other, and I'm like, what the fuck? Where are we? What time is it? I don't know.
I don't think they meant the Dark Ages as in literally like the 1300s.
No, but like I wasn't. That was kind of the impression that I got from the trailers, and then to have all this like literally Gears of War tech is what it felt like. I was like, I just don't get what we're doing or what the story is. And then someone in my comments in my video this week was like, well, if you read the lore, or if you follow the lore for Doom, and it's like, the lore for Doom is Doom guy in hell. Like, fuck off with that shit. I don't want story in my Doom.
Dude, story.
Well, if you want to get into the lore is really fun, but yeah, I hear you.
It's second fiddle, man.
Yeah.
It's there because it has to be there. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Story in Doom is like story in
it's
a porno. It wouldn't feel right if it wasn't there, but nobody's here for the story. That's
I'm glad you said that, Gardner.
I'm offended about the story.
That's what Carmack said.
But yeah, I think it's. I do think it's secondary. But I just do like it.
Yeah.
So it's not a prequel.
It is a prequel, according to the comment that I read on my. It happens before Doom 2016.
Is it a pre-sequel?
I don't believe
pre-sequel?
so.
No,
I'm
Not
pretty
like
sure.
something.
My understanding is that it does happen before Doom 2016, like centuries before. And Doom guy, it's why he was in the sarcophagus. But that's all from the comment that I got. I don't care to look into it because it's lore and Doom. Who cares?
It's lore and Doom. That's how that's how they got all of Doom's like feats and stuff, and that's how they figured out that Doom could beat Master Chief in a fight. Did you watch the latest Death Battle, or I guess second latest or whatever? I don't know how long it's been since then.
I don't even know what Death Battle is.
So it's a YouTube series where they put two characters against each other and see who'd win in a death battle.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the earliest episodes was Master Chief versus Doom Guy, and I think this was before Doom 2016 came out, so it was still based on like Doom 1 and 2. Doom Guy and Master Chief won, and they redid that fight with Doom Guy all the way up into Doom Eternal, and Doom Guy won.
Oh yeah,
Doom Guy from Eternal would win.
Yeah,
but this game also kind of feels like Halo, like, and I really like Halo, but I just was not into it. Everything about it just felt off.
You're not giving me hope. You're saying all the bad things. I don't mind Halo, but I don't want Doom to feel like Halo.
No, I don't either.
So what you're saying is a Halo in id Tech would kick ass.
Actually, yeah.
Probably.
I think so.
I mean, yeah. I'd rather have Doom or Halo in id Tech than in fucking Unreal Engine. I'll tell you that much. I have a lot of hatred for Unreal Engine. I'm sorry.
It's all good, man. Don't worry. You'll find plenty more of that in this episode.
Yeah. All right. Sorry. We can move on.
Yeah. So now it's time to talk about our main topic of the day. Let's see. Well, one of the main topics. There's a lot of really interesting topics. So, for those who don't know, the Marathon Alpha concluded a couple weeks ago, and there were some mixed opinions on the game itself, but one of the more universally liked aspects of the game was the art style. But now we know that Bungie more or less literally stole art assets from this this artist. And it's... There's a lot of evidence, and I need to find more. I need to find that thread with a lot of evidence, but essentially, it's been confirmed by Bungie that a quote-unquote former Bungie artist literally downloaded these art assets and just slapped it in the game. So, yeah, as you can see here. But here's my thing, though. It's one thing if you, accidentally download a few assets. It's still wrong, don't get me wrong. It's one thing if you download a few assets and then use them, but it's another thing if you base your entire game's art style on this person's art style. Which, by the way, this was posted in 2017 on Twitter. Yeah, I'm on Blue Sky, but if you look at the logs in Twitter, it checks out. And it's a huge deal because. So yeah, go on.
Yeah, so it was just one employee doing it without and the company just kind of tried to cover it up.
Well,
because I'm sure it was they're not there anymore. They're not there anymore.
In a very recent live stream, they acknowledged it, but as it turns out, a lot of Bungie employees were following Anti-Real, who is the artist, including the art director Joseph Cross, which makes me believe that it wasn't just a couple of art assets that you just copy pasted. No. It seems like they were studying this guy's art and then just kind of, dare I say it, plagiarized it.
I don't find that surprising. I don't have a lot of respect for Bungie's art team after Halo.
Yeah, I mean, just because I've worked with other people, I wouldn't put it past someone just trying to copy something just so they get something done quickly and easily.
Yeah.
But I think you got to be a little careful when you're saying, hey, they're following the artist and they're also they're also plagiarizing. I think you got to be a little careful with that. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. You can't really copyright an art style. It's just not possible. But at the same time, though, given how they also literally stole assets from this artist, it makes it more culpable.
I agree. My point is, I do think that there needs to be some. Probably they need to pay this artist, maybe even royalties and stuff like that. But
I think they will compensate the artist.
Yeah, they're going to compensate, I'm sure, because it sounds like they have pretty good base for legal action. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, It's
I'd
crazy.
hate to work somewhere and work along someone that does something like that, and then you also get blamed. I'd hate that. That's why I'm saying. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think it's unfair for both, the artist whose stuff was literally stolen, but also some of the guys at Bungie who clearly did not steal the art, and potentially may have not even known that this person existed. And yet now Marathon's mired in controversy. The entire game is mired in controversy, and unfortunately, what can we do? The game kind of was in hot water before this, and now on top of the game just not appealing to a lot of people because people don't want an extraction shooter, they have to deal with the fact that the one universally praised thing is associated with art theft.
Yeah.
Hey, at least we live in a world where you could just use AI and write a few paragraphs to steal some art. But Bungie is doing it the old-fashioned way, by copy pasting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, there's something about doing it the old-fashioned way.
Bungie still does things the old-fashioned way.
Extra yeah, it's extra evil. No,
funny story though. This actually isn't the first time Bungie's been caught stealing art, more or less. Let's see.
Yeah, no.
So, there are a few times, for example, here. This right here happened as well. This is someone's fan art on the right, and this is the in-game cutscene on the left. And Bungie did confirm that, yes, it was stolen. Oh, and here, if there's any doubt that people were wondering if they stole art, look. Right is Anti-Real's art. The left is the same art, but it seems like they scrubbed over the text a little bit, so they knew that they were stealing art.
Oh yeah, they legit just took it.
Yeah.
They didn't even try to copy it. Interesting. That's extra lazy.
Yeah. It looks nice. The original art really looks good, I think. It kind of reminds me of Wipeout. You ever play?
Actually, it does, yeah.
Yeah, I have.
It's a good game. Oh my god, dude. Really? That's crazy, man.
Dude, look at this. Look, listen, if I were Bungie, if I were smart, I would have hired this person to basically direct the art in Marathon. That way everyone wins, and we do have a wholly unique art style. But it seems like, I don't know what to make of it. There's stolen assets. Lord knows how many more stolen assets we could find if the alpha were still up. Because the alpha's not up for publicly anymore. So there's no telling how much more art could have been stolen. But at the same time, though, one has to wonder if maybe, on top of art being stolen, they kind of hired a designer to mimic this guy's art instead of paying him.
Right.
Yeah, it's such a hard. That's why it's really hard. I don't want to hate on Bungie for this, but at the same time, how the responses are, if they don't once they find out, and how they act are the most important things to distinguish between a few employees or the company itself. And so, being, Yeah,
there's this history of it happening, though, in Bungie. Even before Marathon, too. So it tells me there's clearly something going on with Bungie.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to give them the benefit of the doubt.
In those past ones, did they mention it, though?
They did mention it, and they compensated the guy.
In the past, when they were
caught.
When they were caught, so okay.
Yeah, they were caught.
Yeah. This doesn't surprise me at all. Bungie, I don't know. I'm not a big fan anymore.
Yeah, I haven't been a big fan of Bungie for a while. But
yeah.
Yeah, no, this is... got to be careful, I guess. I really...
The thing
I
is,
don't know.
like, it's clear that Bungie has like a plagiarism problem, but they plagiarize art that looks really good. So what they should do is they should create a position called the curator, who goes around and finds artists and hires them rather than just steals their shit.
It'd be the easy way to do it.
That would be the easy way, yes.
It could be just maybe it is on the director, like an ego kind of thing, where director doesn't want to, they can't hire this guy to be director because there's already a director, and maybe he's already high enough up the food chain that they can't just replace him. Because obviously, if they're using this guy's art in such a way, he should be the art director.
Mm-hmm.
He really should. Anti-Real should.
Okay.
Anti-Real should definitely. I mean, Marathon is basically her game, let's be honest, at this point.
Well, I mean, an art style doesn't make up a game fully, but yeah, from an art style standpoint, yeah. And I would, if I was her, I'd promote it hard that way.
Well,
take advantage of it, I guess.
Well, I mean, they say they're compensating her. There's no telling what that means, though. They're probably not going to hire her. Let's be honest. But there's certain,
yeah,
because Bungie, I mean, it just makes too much sense. They wouldn't hire her. It just makes too much sense.
Well, there could be. I mean, if she's really pissed off, why would you want to go work for a company that plagiarizes? So, yeah, go get your bag, I guess. Like, she should be making plenty of money off this game.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
They should be giving her royalties. That's what I'm thinking. But then again, though,
because I think she has a pretty strong lawsuit to where she could just take it if she wanted. And I'm pretty sure a lawyer would pick it up in a case to get paid later on.
Speaking of lawsuits, you weren't there for that week, Gardner, but James and I talked about a Bungie situation where they're being sued by some like Wattpad writer. Sorry, that was derogatory. Some writer who claims that they plagiarized his story, but it seemed, I mean, I read some of the case. It just seems like a lot of weird platitudes and like sci-fi cliches. But given that this happened to Bungie, that could strengthen that guy's case.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It could. That's what's so hard about this, is that there's a fine line between like iterative design, writing, all that other stuff, and like plagiarism, and that's the hard part.
Yeah, well, I mean,
obviously the assets were stolen, like flat out.
Yeah.
They didn't even just copy them over; they just took it and like slightly modified someone's assets.
I mean, to be honest, yeah, but the whole idea is that, you know, that guy in particular is supposed to prove that Bungie has a character issue. Well, you're trying to prove that Bungie's character is that they are a bunch of thieves.
I mean, that definitely helps, but if a lot of your stuff is cliches and already can be proven to be before that person, then they don't have any founding. Like, you can't say, oh, I use this type of character. Well, they did too, but I did it first. But if someone else did it first, then your lawsuit falls.
I mean, I haven't seen all the evidence naturally.
Right.
I'm not in the court. But given the fact that they even the judge even entertained this case, and also one more thing too. You weren't there, Gardner, but Bungie had to defend themselves by using fan videos, because the original campaign and such are not available in Destiny 2, cannot be accessed.
Oh wow!
Because they vaulted it, and the judge threw out that evidence saying that you can't use like fan works and shit like that because it's not the game itself. So
right,
that's interesting.
It's super interesting. It's a weird situation to be in.
Yeah, that's very weird.
I mean, when's the last time a game has actually removed content that wasn't like Christmas events and stuff?
Bungie's infamous for it, so
yeah.
I mean, I can't think of any other game that
dug their hole on this.
Yeah, Bungie's in a really bad spot, and Sony bought them for like, what was it, $6 million or something like that?
$6
billion.
No,
sorry.
Oh, okay. I was like, there's no way.
I got my numbers mixed up, but yeah, like it was something like $6 billion or some shit like that. I don't remember the exact number, but
yeah, Yeah.
It was a lot of money.
It's really sad that the company that built...
billion.
Oh, well, I was way off.
I mean, once you get into the billions, doesn't matter.
Kind of.
It does matter. Don't get me wrong. It does matter. But it is very sad that Bungie started out with Halo. Well, even before that, but like creating one of the most acclaimed series on the planet that's been royally destroyed by, you know, like its reputation has been destroyed by other, like by themselves and by other companies.
Yeah.
But still, Halo is such a classic that Bungie's gotten to this point where now they're just mired in controversy.
For what it's worth, though, Destiny was fairly successful as well. I mean, there's no way they would have survived the post-Halo days if Destiny itself didn't have any merits.
No, Destiny was good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Destiny was bad, but I don't think it's a Halo.
Yeah, I don't think it's Halo. It doesn't have that instant classic. Like,
yeah, it was good. It was just hard for me to get in and play it.
The big question, though, is that, you know, a lot of people attribute Halo's failures to 343, but do you think modern Bungie could have kept Halo in a high quality state?
No.
No, I think they were starting to also struggle with.
Yeah,
I think that's
I mean, Reach was awesome, and so was ODST. So maybe they would have retained more of like their original talent if they stayed with Halo. But I don't know. I think Halo was getting tired.
Yeah, to be fair though, I think the problem is that a lot of basically no one that's still at Bungie was part of the team with Halo.
Yeah.
Like basically everyone that was important, like Marty O'Donnell hasn't been there in like a decade, if not longer.
Yeah.
And what was it, Jason Jones, Joseph Staten. There's a lot of names. None of them are there though.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of reminds me of that. Have you seen the Krobie Cat video for Left 4 Dead versus Back 4 Blood? And then like the ending sequence where it shows the Left 4 Dead credits, and it shows everyone that's still at Turtle Rock, but like most of the names are crossed out. So that's why Back 4 Blood doesn't feel as good as Left 4 Dead. Or at least that's what he's insinuating.
Yeah, I actually like Back 4 Blood a little bit more than Left 4 Dead these days.
Really?
It plays better. Like, if you go back and try to play both of them, Back 4 Blood is very iterative and is more fun to play. It's easier to keep on. Well, I've played Back 4 Blood a ton. I love Left 4 Dead, and so I still love Left 4 Dead, and I still think it's like a more classic game, but to go back and replay, I'd be choosing Back 4 Blood. Just because it's just, yeah.
That's an interesting take.
I haven't tried it, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think a lot of people didn't like it, but I don't know. I think it's a sleeper hit. Or it just didn't quite hit what people wanted from Left 4 Dead. Yeah. So
with that said, though,
is Marathon like good though? Like, have you heard good? Like, I've heard decent things about Marathon, but I haven't seen anything on it.
I've heard mostly apathy because people just don't want an extraction shooter, but I've heard that it's actually pretty good. But I've also heard that those same people are saying Arc Raiders is better. So it's a hard place to be in if you're Bungie. And people are saying it's Concord 2, so take that as you will.
Concord 2.
Concord 2. Which sucks too, because this game looks super unique. Unlike Concord 1.
Concord 1 has multiple problems, and a lot of people on the internet don't even understand how why. Yeah. It's funny.
Well, the first problem with Concord 1 was that it wasn't Steam Deck compatible, so obviously that's why it died.
Yep.
Yes. I mean, it would have helped if it was Steam Deck compatible, but...
Dude, don't you know, man? You gotta... The modern era of gaming cannot move forward without your game being Steam Deck compatible. If your game is not Steam Deck compatible, it's guaranteed to fail unless you're like Nintendo and you don't release your games on PC anyways.
I don't know. I consider that a fail anyways.
That is yeah. But Nintendo's still going to make a shitload of money. Oh, and speaking of the Steam Deck, have you guys heard about how Valve was supposedly hacked, quote unquote?
Oh my god. I heard about it.
I mean, hasn't Valve been hacked before? There's been multiple. Every big company's been hacked at one point. Now,
Yes.
depending on how bad, that's a different story.
But the latest leak alleges that the Valve was breached, and that 89 million Steam accounts are being had their data leaked, and all the information is being sold on the dark web. But that's not necessarily true, as we found out, as for Valve themselves as well. So, a bunch of phone numbers have been leaked. That much has been confirmed. Phone numbers and one-time codes that no one's gonna know what Steam account that's tied to. There's no way of knowing unless that actually gets leaked, which Valve claims it hasn't. And one-time codes can't be tied to anything because they expire in like 15 minutes, so there's no way of knowing whose phone is whose.
Yeah.
Didn't it turn out that it was all AI generated, like all this data?
What?
I read that it wasn't even like legitimate, like leaked data. Let me find that
with enough open public data with Steam and other platforms, you could probably piece together some stuff to maybe even make it look like it is. But I mean, if it's on the dark web, they're trying to sell it. They're going to try to promote it like this, so they're going to, so they can make more money. Doesn't mean it's true.
Yeah.
That's why you have to have a third-party analyst come in and verify if it is or not. Mm-hmm. If you want to really do good.
Yeah.
So.
My understanding was that this originated on LinkedIn. Is that right?
That's right. It was some random guy's LinkedIn.
Yeah.
On the topic of LinkedIn, though, I did not expect that to be a social media that people actually post on. I thought that was just kind of there so you could connect with the people in your company, yada yada yada, professional, find a new job, and not post random shit about Steam being hacked.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'd be shocked at how many people post on it, especially after Trump won. People are pretty bold on there.
Why the fuck are people posting on LinkedIn? We already have an internet cesspool. It's called Twitter.
Well, it's because it's business and people want to like placate, and some people are just really business oriented, and so they're going to post on LinkedIn.
Yeah, take Twitter, and then add more business bros, and that's LinkedIn. And I felt the same way, High Tech, that you do, and then I realized that like Microsoft bought them for like more than it cost them to buy GitHub.
Microsoft that's right.
Owns LinkedIn, and
Microsoft owns LinkedIn. Yeah.
And if you go on there, it reeks of Microsoft stink. Like it's just like business bros who are trying to be like business influencers, and it's so cringe, dude. It's the worst shit I've ever seen.
Business influencers? Yeah. That is cringe, yes. Dude. My God.
I think you'd be shocked, though. They do make quite a bit of money.
Oh, they do. Yeah.
So
there's a plumber who makes a shitload of money by posting videos for his plumbing business on there.
Yep.
What?
Yep.
You can do that? You can make money off of LinkedIn besides finding a new job on there?
I think you guys are the boomers on this one.
Yes, we are. Well, the thing is, I don't have to live in the business space. Like up in Maine, nobody uses social media anyway. So up here, I can
that must be nice. That must be nice.
That must be nice.
So nice, dude. But like, I don't have to live in that world. So yeah, I am disconnected on this, definitely.
I need to do more on LinkedIn. I ignore it too because I just I don't want to put my opinions out there and not get hired or something.
Yeah,
because it's a dangerous place.
It doesn't make any sense though, posting anything on LinkedIn. I guess if you're that plumber, you make a shitload of money, but like,
well, professional posts. So if let's say you're a software engineer like me, and you want to be like, hey, I think that like there's this stack I'm using, or there's this code I'm doing, and then you have an opinion about it, it can help you get hired, because then companies will go through it and look at what you've been doing. I don't do it like I should, but it is a good way to kind of like have a makeshift blog, and it can help you. But a lot of people don't use it for that, so they go a little beyond that.
It seems like a lot of work. Another social media. It seems like a lot of work.
Well, it's a lot of. I mean, yeah, but if you want a career that, and some careers you have to do a lot to get further up in, then that's just what it is.
God damn it!
I
get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. It makes sense.
I see. My whole thing.
It's really annoying.
My reason that I avoid it is because I don't ever want to have a job where I work for a company that has a CEO that just does nothing but snort cocaine. So,
Gardner, one day you could be that CEO that snorts cocaine.
I don't want to.
Fine, you can be that CEO and you don't snort cocaine.
He is the CEO.
I am. Yeah, I work for myself.
Man, you're your own boss.
Yeah. I was like thinking about like if I had to get a job, like a regular job again, and I was like looking at like filling out applications and stuff just to kind of see, and I was like, no, I never ever want to do that again.
It sucks.
Oh, dude,
it does suck.
It sucks.
It sucks.
One day I'll be in your shoes too, Gardner. Again.
Yeah.
But today's not that day.
No.
But Valve.
Oh yeah, sorry, we gotta get back to Steam. So Valve says you don't need to change your password, but if I had to be honest with you, it's never a bad idea to change your password.
What's even better idea? Well, I think they even force it now, don't they? Like 2-factor authentication is the best way to go.
They don't.
It almost doesn't matter. They don't force it, then you should do it. Like I know that it's also easier to set things up. So when you get like a new Steam Deck, you can just scan it with your phone app.
Oh
that's
yeah,
a 2-factor authentication.
That's super convenient.
You do it.
That's super convenient. Dude, I can't. Dude, it would be a pain in the ass if I had to set up if I got a new PC handheld to review and I type in my password every single time. That shit gets annoying so fast. Thank God I can like scan a QR code.
I agree.
I would be careful though with that though. Some people are really gullible. They'll because I've seen a scam before. Well, with Discord, I mean, some people will be like, "Oh, here's free Nitro. Just scan this QR code in your Discord app, and then you'll get it." But then it turns out that QR code's for logging into Discord on someone else's computer, so they can access your Discord account. Mm-hmm. So I would be careful.
They just need to do session links, probably then. So,
I think
there's a couple of things they could do to protect that. But yeah,
I think Valve though does protect it. I think they change the QR code fairly frequently. So
it updates every couple minutes, like 2 minutes or something.
So it's not something you could do unless you're just constantly there trying to scan them. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with changing the password.
No, it's good policy.
It's a good policy.
And have good password hygiene skills, but it's if you really want it to like much better. If you're gonna have to choose two or just choose between one or the other, like that 2-factor authentication is gonna be your best.
Oh yes, 2-factor authentication. That is
saved me multiple times on a lot of things where I get like a text like, "Hey, are you trying to log in?" I'm like, "Nope, I'm not."
Yeah.
Are you sure you're not trying to log in China somewhere or Russia?
Yeah. My only issue with Valve's 2-factor authentication is that you can't set it up with like a TOTP app. You have to use the Steam app, and that bothers the shit out of me. It's like
it could be a control thing, meaning they want to just make sure that they have full control over the stack.
Yes, it is, and that Valve also kind of falls victim to the not invented here shit, like Ubuntu with snaps. Like Valve is like, oh, we're only going to use our in-house stuff, and we're only going to use Source 2 and whatever. And it's like a lot of shit. Like Source 2 held up that company for so long that I don't know.
They stopped making games for like a decade, right?
Yeah, because Source 2 wasn't ready. So I don't know. I'd just like to see them kind of embrace open standards like they do with SteamOS and shit. Like,
I think Valve has a lot of room to grow. That's why I criticize them somewhat, and I like them for their games, and I don't really criticize them for their games too much, even though I don't like Dota 2 really that much. Like I understand like it's a good game, but that's where like I kind of separate it. Like Valve as a game developer, highly respect them, whatever. As the other parts, it gets a little bit more hairy with all this, and I really like
the Source 2
alone. Yeah, the business entity alone, I've mentioned Gabe Newell having lots of stuff before, like, it kind of bothers me. But the Source 2 thing really bothers me because I wanted to use it for so long, and I wish that they would compete with Epic with the Source 2 engine and have a lot of really good tools. But I don't know.
Hey, maybe the reason why we're not getting a Titanfall 3 is because Source 2 isn't ready. Because we all know that they use Source for Titanfall 2, right? Maybe they wanted to customize the Source 2 engine for Titanfall 3.
I wish that was the case, but I believe I don't know. I think they're still using a version of the Source engine for the games they make. So
yeah, for everything that isn't Star Wars, I think.
Yeah.
For the FPSs.
So I don't think that's the reason.
Yeah, so on the topic of Steam, though, there's been some Steam updates. This one isn't actually on the list, but they revamped the whole Steam charts page. So as you can see here, it looks a lot nicer. And wow, we hit a new peak online. Holy shit.
Wow.
This wasn't even planned. I didn't even plan this.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Hey, maybe we'll hit 40 million people online at the same time, but I mean, there's only so many people.
Crazy.
There are only so many people in the world. So let's look at the top sellers right now. Doom: The Dark Ages, Counter-Strike 2, Claire Obscure, let's see, Steam Deck, Helldivers 2, Cyberpunk, Marvel Rivals, yada yada yada.
I'm shocked that Steam Deck still gets up there all the time. Like, it goes
Steam
up
Deck
and down on that.
Well, to be fair, though,
at the number 4 position on the top sellers list for the last 6 weeks.
To be fair, though,
Crazy.
the Steam Deck, this is based on revenue, and the Steam Deck is at minimum a $400 device.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so they're not implying that they're selling more Steam Decks than they are selling copies of Helldivers 2. That'd be ridiculous.
Yeah, I saw a different thing on this. So okay, yeah, I didn't see the seller part. That's crazy. Doom is making more money than Counter-Strike 2
For now.
for this period of time. That's
Yes.
crazy.
So when the Steam Deck first was on sale, it was hovering around the 7th or 8th position on average for the first 10 weeks. And then when they actually made it publicly available and you didn't need to wait for a slot to open up for you, it became number 1 for several weeks. And then it was hovering around number 5 position, and it has only grown. It's now averaging at the number 4 spot on that list, which is crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's good news. I want more sold because that means more support.
Yeah, and it's also the reason that it's selling is it's a first-party device, right? You can pretty soon you'll be able to get the Linux or the SteamOS version of the of this guy. What the hell, the Legion Go S, right? But I don't see it selling anywhere near as much as the Steam Deck because that's a first-party device and this isn't, And
yeah, and that device itself is kind of in a weird spot. 'Cause, I mean, I like it, but it's also not the best. The Windows version isn't the best priced. The SteamOS version is supposed to be a lot cheaper.
Yeah,
and I don't know, but let's see. There's also most played games, as you can see here: CS:GO, PUBG. Not a big surprise, but yeah, as you can see here, there's a lot of
PUBG
games.
is still up at the
Yeah, PUBG
second.
is still very popular. It's not Fortnite, but we'll get to that later.
I don't see Fortnite on this list.
Bongo Cat.
Doesn't count.
What the hell is Bongo Cat? Whatever.
Oh,
Steam Deck top played. It's the same games every time we check it almost.
yeah.
check this week. Okay, you're on this week. Is Doom: The Dark Ages on there? Where does it land? Control F, my dude.
No.
Whoa.
It's not. It's not a top 100. Probably because it doesn't run that well.
Why not?
See, weekly top sellers.
Honestly, though, it's on my Steam Deck. It's running at 40 to 50 FPS. It's not bad.
Yeah, I would be shocked if it didn't. It uses the same engine. The engine's really optimized.
The thing with it is it requires RT. If you don't have RT, then it won't work.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you can't play on your 1070 or 1080.
I don't think so. Yeah.
See, so weekly charts, Destiny 2 is at the top, but I think that's because they opened up pre-orders for the next expansion. I don't know, man. I'm done with Destiny. I played the final shape. The story ended for me there.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Hold on.
Weekly sellers.
I gotta check answer the door.
Go on. So last week it was Elder Scrolls.
The Shadow Drop too, which is crazy. Shadow Drop.
And then the week before that was also the Elder Scrolls. And then we'll see all these games. Clair Obscur, CS2, Steam Deck, Schedule 1. I've never played Schedule 1. I've heard a lot about it. It's like some sort of weed game, right?
I think so, yeah.
Let's see. Marvel Rivals.
Repo's pretty fun.
Repo.
That's a pretty fun game, actually.
Is it like Lethal Company?
Yeah, it's a little bit like that. I actually like it more than Lethal Company. It's like a derivative take on it, but you're a bunch of robots. But the way that you have to hide from monsters, because you can hide from monsters instead, and you have a cart that you can take around to gather stuff and repossess items.
I've heard Dragon Wild is good too. My brother is super into RuneScape for some reason.
RuneScape? RuneScape? Wait,
RuneScape's like an old MMO,
they're
but
super old. Are they still making stuff for it?
They are. There's still content for RuneScape being made.
I did not know that. I thought it.
And my brother is still super into it for some reason, despite the fact that he has a much more powerful PC. Not more powerful than me, but you could certainly play something more graphically intense than RuneScape. Let's see, there's also Mahjong Soul, not available in your region. Once Human, and then I guess if we exclude Mahjong Soul, we could go to Overwatch 2. Oh, it's still mostly negative though. Look at that.
Yeah, there's a lot of I don't know. I don't mind Overwatch 2. I think it's fine. I think a lot of people just review it.
And so let's look at the monthly top games here. We've got Gold. Oh yeah, by the way, while Gardner's gone, we'll talk about this. So they had separated by Gold, Silver, and Bronze, and it's sorted randomly. So the top games of last month were Tempest Rising, Haste, Oblivion, Last Epoch DLC. What? How did this sell so well? This doesn't look like a... Dude, it's like a fucking cosmetic pack.
Oh, is it? That's hilarious.
Why is this like one of the most sold games on the list? That doesn't make any sense.
People really like it. It was a really good pack.
God damn it.
Wow.
Oh, there's a game I'm playing right here, 100 Line. And then Fatal Fury. I'm surprised this sold given that fighting games don't tend to sell that well if they're not Street Fighter or Tekken.
Yeah.
Let's see, Clair Obscur, Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. I forgot this was... we're talking about the top monthly games. Tempest Rising. This looks like a Gardner-coded game.
Gardner-coded game?
Yeah, it's an RTS.
Oh, I love RTSs.
And then Dragon Wild.
Interesting.
Blueprints. I've heard a lot about this game, but I don't know anything about this. Besides...
There's too many games.
Yeah, there are a lot of games.
It's too many games to keep up with everything.
Quite so, yes. And then Silver, we have a lot of games here too. DLCs too. And then we have Bronze. A lot of games in Bronze. Well, a lot of DLCs too, actually.
Well, there you go.
So
if you
yeah,
want to make money, make a DLC.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
and
Haste.
I think
I want to get this.
I want to get Haste as well.
That was really
man.
fun. That was a really fun game.
I really like the demo. It's really nice.
Yeah.
But all right, let's move on to the next topic at hand. SteamOS compatibility. So,
oh yeah,
as Gardner mentioned earlier, the Legion Go S is getting SteamOS, or at least a SteamOS version. And I talked about this earlier. There was a weird conundrum where I was wondering what would happen to Steam Deck Verified if more devices come with SteamOS on it. And I guess Valve answered my prayers. Look at this. So the only criteria for SteamOS compatibility is that the game runs on SteamOS.
Yeah. The interesting thing about this is that the Steam Deck Verified has 4 criteria. The input, the display, there's 2 others, but the last one is the one that SteamOS compatibility is working on. It's does the game and all of its middleware, including anti-cheat, work on SteamOS? And so if your game is like playable, like Steam Deck playable, and it has, then it will be SteamOS compatible, right? Otherwise, it's not going to be. And I think that's really interesting, and it's the right way to handle it. I mean, it's pretty much the only way that Valve can handle this, right? Because it's not like they can like check every game to ensure that all those games work flawlessly on every handheld that's going to be shipped with SteamOS on it. Yeah, I like this though. I think this is a good step for them to take.
Yeah, because I mean, if you look at it, the only real criteria is SteamOS. It mentions here that your experience in terms of performance and input may vary depending on your hardware, and so obviously it seems like SteamOS is just going to be installed on. You can just install on anything. It seems like they're gearing up for a general release. I think they said sometime between January and before the Legion Go S comes out, the SteamOS version.
It's so interesting that we're going away of it just needs to run well in SteamOS compatibility later, whatever. But instead of
it doesn't even say run well. It just says it runs.
Yeah.
So like if
as opposed to building a game specifically for a platform, they're able to just make sure that they conform to the right conventions to make it run with Proton, which is interesting.
Yeah. I think they could have gone one step beyond this and said like all SteamOS. I mean, they already have like SteamOS devices have to have A, B, X, and Y buttons in this layout, right? And they have to have at least RBLB and the triggers,
right?
So they could have like gone one step beyond this and just made sure that like the inputs are going to be compatible too, right? But also this isn't SteamOS. This is just SteamOS compatibility and not like a SteamOS device compatibility.
Yeah, because in theory you could play with a mouse and keyboard,
right? And you could install SteamOS on something other than, a Steam branded hardware. So. Yeah,
I mean, you can install on your gaming PC. To be honest, that's what people want to do. Apparently, remember Linus Tech Tips? How he did a Linux challenge. He wants to redo it when SteamOS officially comes out in beta or whatever. Yep. Speaking of which, I heard PewDiePie installed Linux, and I don't know jack squat about that. PewDiePie always struck me as kind of a. Well, you can't really be a normie if you've been on the internet for too long, but like he never really struck me as a computer savvy kind of guy.
Yeah, that's kind of why his video was so interesting. Have you watched it?
I have not. I've heard about it. I've also heard about how some Linux fans aren't a huge fan of PewDiePie installing Linux because, it's PewDiePie.
Yeah.
Well, it's Linux fans. Like, there's a diverse amount of them, and some of them are just very uppity.
Yeah, if you're a Linux fan and you have a problem with PewDiePie installing Linux, you need to just go away and never come back.
Don't touch grass, at least.
Go install FreeBSD.
Yeah, if you want to be part of an exclusive crowd, go do that. Or run a high queue on bare metal.
That's a good one.
Like, get out of here. No, PewDiePie's video was awesome though. Like it was it was great. That guy installed Arch Linux. He installed Linux Mint on his desktop, and then on his laptop he installed Arch Linux because of the meme, and then he riced both of those desktops to a point that I had never even dreamed of doing myself. Like many of the people who reacted to his video were like, I've never riced Linux that hard, and this guy not only did that, but he has like a tiling window manager, and he's like riced his desktop beyond recognition. It doesn't even look. He changed the logo in NeoFetch to be an animated ASCII art that he designed himself.
Must be nice to have that much free time.
Dude, tell me about it.
And you call yourself
cool, though.
a Linux tuber gardener.
I know, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm content. I'm content with the stock GNOME experience, dude. I love it. And yeah.
Well, hey, that's the beautiful thing about Linux.
Yeah.
If you don't love the stock experience, you can just do it yourself. And fucking PewDiePie, of all people, did it.
Yep.
And so now we all have to do it because, well, our reputation as tech tubers are on the line now. Obviously.
Yeah.
Did he blow up his Linux installs at any point in time?
No.
Fuck.
The whole video, it was him being like, there are legitimate reasons why some people might not want to use Linux, but if these reasons aren't you should use Linux. And it was great. It was truly awesome.
Wow, he did a better job than Linus Tech Tips.
He made Linux look fun and easy, which I think it is. And so, yeah, it was great to see.
That's crazy that PewDiePie could do that. PewDiePie! I never really liked his content when he was like at the heyday of his at the height of his career.
Yeah.
Back when he had that really high pitched voice and introduced his every video with PewDiePie. I don't remember how it goes, but that's just something about it. But I'm liking this more mellow PewDiePie, to be honest.
Yeah.
Semi-retired PewDiePie.
Semi-retired PewDiePie. I think he lives in Japan now.
Yes.
He's lived in Japan for a very long time, but yeah.
Man, Japan really does mellow people out. I'm about to go there in like a few months too, actually.
Oh yeah?
Nice.
Yeah, going on vacation. Got some shrines picked out to visit.
Do it.
Yeah.
Go to the biggest one in Tokyo, which is we can talk about that later. But
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
There's some really cool ones.
Yeah. But anyways, SteamOS verification. One question I've always had though was about the Steam Deck 2. Because I mean, the Steam Deck 2 is probably going to be very similar to Steam Deck, but like a lot more performant, right? Yep. So what would happen with games like Starfield, where Starfield technically runs, but like it doesn't run well on Steam Deck? Would they introduce a Steam Deck 2 verification?
That was what I was thinking about too. I don't know the answer to that. I suspect that they'll have. This is something that I think that they should do, right? Is like have device specific, like automated stuff, where like when you're on the device, it reports to the compatibility tool when you're in the store, and it's like, these are my specs, and I'm a Steam certified device, and then have that kind of automation display a specific rating for your device.
Oh, so like if I were, say, on a hypothetical Steam Deck 2, it wouldn't show the Steam Deck 1 compatibility rating, but it would instead show the Steam Deck 2. I like that idea. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
I like that too. That's how I do it.
I mean, I remember back in the day when Vista launched, and they had like the Vista performance metrics. You remember those? No. The performance numbers that you could see? And it was like, it would benchmark your whole system. It took like 5 minutes to benchmark your system, and then it gave you just like these abstracted numbers for how your computer was going to work with different software. And then no software actually used those numbers. I'd like to see something like that, but for SteamOS. So it's like, you have you have a 3 for GPU, which means it can run these games, and then developers can benchmark their games, or Valve could even benchmark the games against those compatibility numbers, and that's your score, and that's how it works.
But how would you want to take that into account with like games with multiple graphics graphics levels? Because
I mean, it would have to be. There are developers who are using like the SteamOS settings. And so you could do something like that, where if the developer specifies like, a Steam Deck setting, then you could benchmark that. I don't know. It would be a complex process, but it could be automated in a lot of ways. So
yeah, there's a lot of automations that could be done to help with all this. It would be cool. Now I want to make that project where I take snippets of games or something like that and just auto run them.
Valve, hire this man.
That sounds like a lot of work. I already have a lot of work.
But I would work for Valve if they wanted me.
Yeah, but like you wouldn't take the job. You wouldn't. if Valve hired you for a super secret project, aka Half-Life 3, you wouldn't take the job, James?
No, dude, I already have enough stress in my life. There's no way I can make a Half-Life 3. Could you, Gardner? Like, there's just no way.
I would totally work for Valve. I'd make Half-Life 3. I'd do whatever they wanted me to do. I would love it.
If they want to get me in slowly, maybe I'd work my way up, but there's no way I'd want to just jump onto Half-Life 3.
All right. What if they wanted you to be the janitor for Half-Life 3? AKA, you don't actually work with the game or do any writing, but you like optimize the game.
But I get to be a friends and family person that gets to play it. Okay.
But yeah, you get to. You're better than family. You're better than friends and family. You're a Valve employee.
No, they'd have to beg me, but yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, they'd have to beg you.
Them grovel to you to work for them.
Okay. I can certainly believe that.
Yeah.
But it's certainly better than working at Microsoft.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather. Yeah, no, Valve's definitely on the top of my list.
Yes, because if you're working with Microsoft, there's a good chance that you might be one of the 6,000 people that were laid off.
Wow.
Now, Microsoft hasn't been doing too many layoffs lately, right?
Didn't they just do a fresh round of layoffs a couple of months ago, like 3 months ago?
I know that like it's really hard to keep track because every big tech is doing this.
Yeah, Microsoft is not unique in this aspect, though we figured we'd talk about them because they were the latest big tech company to go through massive layoffs so far. And I mean, I don't know what to make of it. Microsoft, and it's not. This isn't just This doesn't specify what like divisions people are being laid off from. So it could theoretically be Xbox as well.
I read that at least part of the like a big part of this was business oriented, but how much of this is gaming? Do we know?
We don't know.
We don't know.
My understanding is that they wanted to reduce the number of managers that they had, because like management was like bloated and not doing what they wanted it to.
Well,
right there. That first paragraph. One objective is to reduce layers of management, the spokesperson said. In January, Amazon announced that they were getting rid of some employees after noticing unnecessary layers in its organization.
They're doing a lot of mid-management, which is crappy for if you have a career in this type of area, because then where do you...
You go to mid-management somewhere else. I mean, that's the only real solution, I guess.
If there is anywhere else, but these companies are also a little anti-competitive, so they'll buy up stuff and then they lay people off. So
I don't know, man.
A lot of dangers in the tech sector, but we'll see. I'm sure it'll normalize eventually.
I mean, I haven't heard Google laying off people recently.
They don't have anyone left to lay off. Nah, they've done a lot of big layoffs too. But Google has their own special problems too.
Yeah, like with Chrome. I don't think we ever talked about this on this podcast, but the DOJ wants Google to sell Chrome.
Yeah, and OpenAI is like one of the biggest, most interested players. Which
no, not OpenAI.
Yeah, as if Microsoft needs another web browser.
You know what? Wait, does
Microsoft
doesn't own OpenAI, but they're the biggest investor.
They're the biggest investor, yeah. I am here for this arc of destruction.
Yeah. Is this what it means to be someone into tech? You are excited about tech when you're growing up, and then you find out how bad tech actually is for the world.
You see how the chicken nuggets are made? Just a bunch of little baby birds getting fed into a grinder. Yep, that's pretty much
pink slop.
Pink slop.
No, pink slop is made from baby chicks.
I've watched some videos of them going. Pretty morbid stuff.
Soylent Green is made of people.
Soylent Green. Well, I love that there's a company called Soylent.
Do they have a product called Soylent Green?
No, but I think it's kind of make fun of it. But I'm like, wow, very brave. I think they do well. Like it's like their meal replacement,
like a vegetarian meal replacement.
I think so. Like vegan, probably.
Makes sense.
Decent. I think. I don't know.
Totally different topic. But you know what I've been eating for lunch the last couple of weeks, and it's like
people.
Super good. People, yes, no, dude. You ever just had like slices of cucumber with a little bit of salt and mayonnaise on a sandwich. It's just that, and it's so good.
Oh, yeah.
So
no,
good.
It's actually not that bad.
It's really good.
It's very bougie though.
Is it bougie? My grandmother, who like said she ate it in the Great Depression, she's who turned me on to that. So
yeah, it's like little finger sandwiches that you'll make at little tea parties.
okay, maybe I am bougie.
Are you toasting the bread?
No toasting the bread.
What?
No, dude. Get like a nice a thick slice of like a multigrain or oat bread. So good.
To elevate it, you get some cream cheese on there, then you put it on
Avocado.
with some cream cheese. That too.
Make it bougie.
Just
put on put on some lox, and then it'll be good.
Oh, lox is really good with
Lox
cream
is
cheese.
really good. Yeah, you live in like the area where lox comes from, almost.
Yeah.
Gardner, you could get some fresh lox and do it yourself.
Do you guys have fiddleheads where you're at?
What is that?
It's like a little plant. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like a little plant that comes up and curls like the head of a fiddle. You blanch them and they're freaking awesome.
No,
I mean I've seen them, but I've never done that.
Oh, it's so good. Sorry, totally derailed. Fat guy story.
Nah, this is fun. This is a lot less depressing than like some of the stuff we talk about, which is tariffs, layoffs,
tariffs, The Last of Us Part 2, online backlash. Man, it's crazy how much people like hate. Like, do you remember when Last of Us 2 came out? You guys remember how much hate Laura Bailey got for being Abby?
No.
Even though
it was pretty bad. Well, the problem too is that all the slop tubers were like freaking going after it before, just from leaks. They were hitting Last of Us Part 2 with from the leaks, not even the game being out.
Yeah. To be fair though, those were cutscenes that ended up actually being in the game.
Not all of them. Not at least not. Some of the leaks I'm talking about are just like were false actually. Some of the leaks, but yeah.
But yeah, so yes,
from some of the slop tubers. It is a slop tuber.
So you've played The Last of Us, right? Pardon me, right, Gardner?
I have not.
Do you know of the story?
I know
Sort
it's
of.
like zombies.
Yeah. So in The Last of Us, so spoiler alert, by the way, if you haven't played the game, The Last of Us Part 2 opens up with Joel, the protagonist of the previous game, dying.
It doesn't open up. That's one of the false ones too. Like
It's
for
very
a couple
early
hours.
on.
You play for a couple. Yeah, it's like the first quarter of the game. But yeah, you play for a little bit, and then you get to go back and forth and play as him.
Yeah, but here's my thing: the people were pissed off that Joel died. But like, as soon as they said Ellie was the main character, I was like, "Oh, Joel's gonna die in this game." Like, who the fuck didn't predict that? Like, I predicted it.
It's a very harsh game too. That's the thing. But man, they do him dirty. Like how he dies is pretty rough. But
like,
yeah.
If people people got really pissed off for basically no reason though. Well, I mean,
on the internet.
On the internet, yeah.
It was bad though. Like it's one of those ones where a lot of people came together on it and they're like, well, Abby, what is her name?
Laura Bailey is the actress
for
Abby.
Abby, yeah. So Abby, she's too bulked up. She looks like a man. They were just doing all sorts of weird trans, whatever stuff. Where I'm just like, it's a fucking video game, guys. Like, if they want to be buff, then they can be buff. Like, good God, like, come on. And so it was stuff like that I saw all the time. That's what I was trying to, I was kind of mentioning with slop tube stuff. And
yeah,
the game is the part 2 is the game itself is better than part 1, but the story is not as good as part 1. The story just like meanders a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Laura Bailey got a lot of that flack too, just for playing Abby. Yeah. And she doesn't. And honestly, Laura Bailey doesn't even like the character, like, because she kills Joel as well. Let's be honest. So this article here is talking about how they were preparing the next star for potential internet hate. And to be fair, she did get plenty of that when the game was unveiled. I think it was Tati Gabrielle. I think that's her name. And I think it's
yeah.
And she got a lot of hate because, I mean, her character what's the word? I can't think of why. I think it's because it's because she's bald. The character's
She's a
bald,
little androgynous, maybe, but
a little androgynous, yeah, something
but
like that.
at the end of the day, she's just not like a freaking gorgeous housewife girl. That's what people yell out about. Like, if you want that, go play that type of game. There's so many games. It's fine to have a rough female lead. Good God.
Dude, I'm just reminded of like when Horizon, like marketing for Horizon Zero Dawn came out, or was it the sequel? And like there was a close up of what's her name's face, Aloy, and she had like very fine mammalian hairs on her face, and there were people who were like, women don't have hair. Like guys,
tell me you don't know. You've never kissed a girl or anything. Like, just whatever.
Yeah, tell me you're shut in.
Yeah.
Isn't that one where people think that Aloy looks like she has like a double chin or some shit like that?
No,
That,
it was like
weird.
little, very fine blonde mustache
facial hair,
hairs,
yeah.
and like facial hair, like every human being has.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
in a post-apocalyptic world like Horizon, I'm sure you probably couldn't groom all that off, because I mean, in the real world, I mean, that stuff does get like groomed.
Yeah,
It
but then
exists.
if you put her in makeup and do all the stuff, and other people would then complain it's not authentic. That's my only problem with the internet, is people just need to
There's no
touch
nuance.
grass more. They need to touch grass more. Like, it's fine to have a couple criticize it, but like, it's getting so bad.
I just
And people
found
do-
the
and it's-
actual thing here. I'll send it in the.
It's getting to the point where they do, like, anyone that has any controversy will get death threats, which is just unacceptable. That's just unacceptable.
Yeah, death threats are never okay in any context. I think it's unfortunate that, they have to go through, Tati Gabrielle has to go through boot camp from Neil Druckmann because of this. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Like, actors shouldn't be getting hate for the roles that they play. Period. Like, I remember Game of Thrones, the little like actor that played Joffrey got a lot of real life hate because, he was Joffrey.
Joffrey was so annoying, but yeah, that really does suck.
I mean, so did the kid who played Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
and-
That was
Jar Jar.
even less deserved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just dropped the thing I found in the group chat.
Yeah, oh yeah, I have seen that. Yeah.
Can you explain to me why the hell Aloy has a beard?
That is so
it's not
funny.
a beard, dude.
That is so funny. But yeah, people shouldn't be getting hate for the roles they play at all. I mean, no, it doesn't make any sense. If a character is badly written, then that responsibility goes to the artist. The only thing is if like maybe the performance isn't bad, but isn't great, but like that doesn't warrant death threats.
Doesn't work. Like, you
Nothing-
can say, yeah, I didn't like the character. Like, that's fine. I'm totally okay if someone doesn't like the game. If Gardner hates Doom, I'm fine with that. But
Yeah, you shouldn't threaten, dude. Death threats are bad.
Gardner's not threatening death threats to the people that make Doom.
Nah, dude.
So,
Live and let live.
no, yeah.
And you
like,
call
your
yourself and you call yourself a capital G gamer.
I've never called myself
funny.
that.
That's funny. No, but like that's that type of criticism is how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's valid criticism, if you can say it in a constructive way that doesn't linger too much on like some random tangential bullshit like Aloy having a beard or whatever the fuck, then I mean, hey.
Or, a female character is head shaved.
Or a female character doesn't look female enough. Doesn't look like trad wife.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like you're saying, there are games that do that. You can go, buy a
Plenty of
waifu
them,
on
and
Steam.
those are fine too. I think some people try to cancel those too. I'm like, just let people have, like, I'll put my line down when it's like Nazi glorifying games or like certain things where it promotes hate, but come on, just let people live their lives.
Yeah. I will say that I'm not super interested in this new game though.
No.
But we also haven't seen
I actually am very excited for this one.
But we also haven't seen enough gameplay, which I think is bullshit. I think
Yeah,
that's something worth
I agree with that,
criticizing. That's something worth criticizing.
The last
agree.
Naughty Dog game that I was interested in playing was Crash Team Racing. So
Damn.
I'm kind of done with them.
I'm a big Naughty Dog fan, but funny enough, I've beat pretty much all the games except for that. Like, I haven't played
Crash Team Racing.
Crash Team Racing.
You're missing out. It's the best kart racer on the market.
That's what I've heard. I'm just kind of. I played Mario Kart so much growing up. I kind of just burnt myself out.
Dude, it's
I'll need to go and play
it's
it.
better
Are you
than
sure?
Mario Kart.
What's it on?
It's on PS1.
What about the remaster though? How's that?
Crash Nitro Kart. It's not on PC, so it's not worth talking about.
Oh, fair enough.
What's it on though? Because I might get it for
Switch.
my kids.
I have it on Switch, but
damn.
it runs like dog shit on the Switch.
Meh, maybe we'll see.
Damn.
Because
that
I'll
is
get it and play with my kids.
damn. So yeah, hate is bad, but fair criticism is good.
Like,
Yeah.
Be fair.
The only hate that anyone should have is for corporations that suck. Like
Like Bungie.
Yeah.
Yes, like Bungie. People are not worth hating. People are worth loving. That's my opinion. You gotta love people.
Unless they plagiarize.
Yes. Speaking of plagiarism and people, AI is not a person. But anyways, so very recently, Epic Games added an NPC powered by AI,
Great
and
idea.
it's Darth Vader.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna preface this by saying that apparently the voice actor for Darth Vader, James Earl Jones, actually signed paperwork in 2002 saying that LucasArts could use his archival voice, like archive copies of his voice, in an attempt to like recreate his voice in the future.
I hate that.
I think he's one of those actors that didn't mind living beyond in this type of thing, if I understood correctly.
Did he have the mental capacity to enter into that agreement though?
in 2002.
2022.
Yeah, 2022. Sorry, yeah. James Earl Jones.
Yeah,
How
I don't
old
know.
was he?
He died like last year, so it wasn't.
Yeah, he died recently.
How old was he when he signed that agreement? Age.
I don't know. I think that he was a little bit
93.
more,
So
yeah.
he was a little older.
Oh, he was in his 90s, wasn't he?
But I believe
91.
his rationale at the time for signing that deal in 2022 was that Darth Vader was such an iconic character that he wanted future generations to enjoy that character with his performance. And
I think that's fair enough, as he created a character. So I don't know. This is one of those times where I think it's okay.
I mean,
Okay, but I would much rather prefer them try to find someone else that can replicate it and pay them.
I mean, yes. Yeah, but it is his will. It is his legacy.
It's
and
his
it's something
legacy,
he
and that's
wants.
yeah.
And we can't argue with that. That said, I'm not sure how he feels about Darth Vader saying Haktua.
I take exception with the idea that AI, like, if we have problems with AI stealing jobs, then this is AI stealing jobs. Like, it really is. Like, someone else could be employed to do Darth Vader's voice.
Yes.
My problem with that type of stuff, what I want taxes on stuff like this. Like, if you're using AI to replace a job, especially if you're an up and coming business or whatever, then I think different rules need to be applied. But if you're a big company replacing jobs just with AI, especially AI that's trained on maybe your employees' work and all that, then I think there needs to be taxes levied to pay for what's to come, because it's going to come. This is going to be an impossible thing to keep up with, is to employ people for this type of thing. What I would say, here's where I think maybe we could find common ground on this, Gardner. If it became allowed in the comment, like, not copyright, meaning anyone can do it with anything, that he's like, yeah, I want my voice to be able to be used for Darth Vader, and anyone can use it. Fair use. I think that would be. I think I would be okay with that.
I like that even less, honestly. But sorry.
All right. So here's my thought. What about a game where, like, think about this. What if you were playing a game like Fallout, But, like, instead of having a preset voice for your custom character, you instead train an AI that's your voice, and then it's your voice in the game that's saying those dialogue, your protagonist dialogue.
Funny enough, you could probably do that easy now.
Yeah, you probably could, but what I'm saying is...
I have thought about doing that,
how would you feel about that if, like, your own custom character were voiced by you, and they had fully voiced dialogue, albeit it's AI generated, because... No? Not into it either?
It would be fun. I wouldn't want to do it for... Like, it all depends on the game. Fallout game, yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I think it'd be kind of fun. I have a hard time doing the whole character creator anyways. Like, they just don't too many options, and I don't care that much.
I already have a perfect model of my voice when game dialogue is being read and it's in my head, and I don't need to have it like physicalized by an AI. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like hearing my own voice sometimes. So.
Yeah, but I just thought of something super devious.
Yeah. What
if an enemy, and like, well, this is like a plot point. What if an enemy has the ability to steal, like, and copy someone's voice, and like the game's been listening to you talk the whole time, and then it makes an AI model of your voice, and then you come across this enemy that like mimics what you're saying, and it like tricks your teammates or whatever.
That's fun. That'd actually be kind of a fun little next level layer.
We're coming up with crazy ideas to justify AI.
Have you guys played Earthbound? Like, have you beat it?
No.
I haven't beaten it, no, unfortunately.
Oh my god. Well, there's a moment in Earthbound. I won't spoil it, but there's a moment in Earthbound where it asks you for some information about yourself, and then, like, maybe halfway through the game, and then at the end of the game, they reference that. And that was mind-blowing to me when I beat it as an adult. Because I had forgot that I gave him that little bit of information. Oh, yeah. And I don't need... And like, clever writing will always beat AI, like, mimicry and bullshit. Like, I just want a human touch. I think
both can exist in the same world. It's just another tool that would be kind of fun it'd be kind of fun, but yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
I just don't want it to be used as a crutch either.
All right, but back to the topic. Darth Vader, this is him saying Hawk Tua. And here's Darth Vader saying fuck, which Epic apparently patched out, by the way, supposedly.
We can't hear it. But...
Yeah, unfortunately we can't.
I heard it.
Wait,
I heard it through your mic.
Yeah.
And then here's Darth Vader reacting to Goku transforming into a Super Saiyan, and he says Goku's name. He reacts to your skin. He reacts to whatever skin you're playing. So, like, if you're playing as a Hatsune Miku skin, he says Hatsune Miku. It's really funny. And let's see, here's Darth Vader. This is him saying Skibbity Toilet.
These Skibbity Toilets.
And this is him saying edging and gooning. Oh, Lord.
What is edging and gooning?
You don't want to know, Gardner.
Oh.
God. Okay. The Skibbity Toilet one, honestly, is not that convincing.
Yeah, it's not. It sounds like a boomer trying to say it.
Yeah, it doesn't... some of it's not that convincing, but yeah, it's still kind of funny.
Yeah.
Edging and gooning, man.
Edging and gooning.
I thought Gardner had his goon cave there. Don't read much into it, I'm sorry.
But yes, so on top of all those clips I just played, there's also the fact that he swears. We covered that. He's also said multiple slurs. He said the N-word and the F-word that refers to gay people. And then he threatened to kill someone in real life. So he's already a capital G gamer. He's given off death threats.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see. I'm reading off a list, by the way, that's in our thing. He said that Pride Month is for the delusional.
Jesus Christ, dude. I don't understand. People can think this is a good idea to put a fucking AI interactive character in with... Oh, dude. A Disney character.
There's more, though.
But they're going to say this no matter what.
There's more, type of
stuff even.
Let's see. He eliminated players on the same side as him for calling him daddy. Said Spanish is a language used by smugglers. That's like ultra racist.
Yeah, I'm surprised they don't have a blacklist for this. Usually, there's even blacklists for chats for this type of thing.
AI is still
get you banned.
I don't know, man. Let's see. Ask someone if they
What
like.
are you talking about? Like, the AI is really easy before you have the AI say it to filter out what it's going to say. Like, it's not a.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Epic's stupid though, so there's that. Let's see. They asked someone if they like Chun-Li's ass, and they made a tier list of races. So yeah, it's the internet all over again.
Tier list. Wow, that's some extra racism.
Dude,
Damn.
it's the internet.
Jeez. Yeah, but I think people need to be shamed. So,
And
this type of stuff.
Part of me is thinking, like, I always come back to this, and I feel a little cynical when I say this, but, like, did Epic do this on purpose? Because it's bringing... I mean, I know that, like, Fortnite is one of the most popular games right now, so they don't need more marketing, but, like, all marketing is good marketing to these people. They don't really care if it looks bad for them, right? Like,
I do think they care. They have parental controls. Like, I can, like, if I want to let my kid play, like, I can set it up to where he can only play so much, so in such a certain way. So that's already a drastically better step up than like Roblox, where they don't have that. Like, they have some pretty fine-tuned parental controls. So I'd be shocked if because if you upset too many parents, that's the only reason I could see them putting parental controls in, is that they'll lose a portion of their base. I don't know why they'd want to play with that, but I agree. I don't think I don't think they thought this through. Is what I'll say. It's sloppy.
Yeah, I mean, and to be fair though, I mean, I'm pretty sure they have like safeguards. Like, you can't just be like Darth Vader. You can't just like tell Darth Vader to say fuck. I'm sure there's some sort of jailbreak you have to do to like jailbreak the AI, and people have gotten really good at jailbreaking AI. You can tell AI to do a lot of things that you probably shouldn't tell it to do, like give ingredients for like a chemical explosion or some shit like that.
You're on the watch list now, High Tech. Congratulations.
You're all on the watch list too, actually.
I've never stopped.
But yes, AI. I mean, realistically, how can't, like, if you can just jailbreak out of like the AI, how can you really secure AI and make? Because Darth Vader talking like about the Force to Goku and stuff, it makes sense in the character. But like when you have Darth Vader making a list of like races and like what tier they're on, or talking about Spanish. Is Spanish even a language in Star Wars?
No, not in Star Wars.
Yeah, like that doesn't make any sense.
So, there just needs to be a little bit better guards on it. But at the end of the day, I don't know. It's a gimmick. I don't know if they would have, they wouldn't have been able to hire someone for this, because this is supposed to be like, oh, hey, it's supposed to be dynamic, which is fun. But yeah, I'm curious where this is going to go AI wise.
Well, I'm guessing they can only do James Earl Jones because he explicitly gave permission to LucasArts like a few years back. I don't know. It's a situation we have to watch, not because we like Fortnite, but because we really like Star Wars all that much. Like, I haven't been super into Star Wars like in a while. I kind of just watched.
I love it. I just got fatigued.
Yeah,
from like Star Wars fatigue is real.
Yeah.
I like the original trilogy and Andor, and maybe the first season of Mandalorian, and that's it.
What about the prequels?
I don't like the prequels.
The prequels are hilarious, though.
I like all the Star Wars movies, even the newer ones, but not that much. But I like them enough. I know, yeah. I'm weird.
And speaking on Fortnite, Apple has actually blocked Fortnite, despite the fact that they lost that court case. And I mean, I don't know about you, but I feel like that's like the last thing you want to do, given that the US apparently wants to do a criminal probe onto Apple itself.
Wait, they didn't block Fortnite, did they?
They did. In fact, they blocked it like very recently. Like, this was a development.
This is a recent thing that they're being petty, and they're going to get royally fucked for this. Like, I could see someone going to jail for this one.
I thought Epic. I thought I read an article where Epic, like the last week or so, Epic tried to get the American App Store and the European App Store. Like they submitted the two builds for the different things at one time, and Epic was like, or Apple was like, you can't do them together. You have to do them separately. And then Tim Sweeney was being a bitch about it and crying.
Regardless, though, this is a bad look for Apple because of how they recently got a catastrophic defeat in the courts, and they can see this as just being retaliatory, which you're not supposed to do. Mm-hmm. You're not supposed to retaliate against the plaintiff, like in a case like this. Is
separate than what you were talking about, Gardner. I think they tried to submit it.
Oh, okay.
They retried to submit it because they won the case in the U.S.
and separately. Like I think it just sounds like Apple's being super petty.
Mm-hmm. There's no real explanation for this besides Apple's just being petty.
Yeah,
and this is also bad because this is also super bad for Apple because, like we said earlier, Apple is potentially being probed for criminal liability, meaning that it's not just a civil suit; it's a criminal suit, and that could be really bad. I mean, obviously, you can't send an entire corporation to jail because they're not people, but I think they were looking to implicate the higher ups in Apple.
Yeah, whoever made the major decisions, you can't and depending on who complies and how it all works out, you can. It'll be interesting. I like Apple products like a lot more than Windows products, and I use Apple products for work and all. But I'm also like keep these companies humble, keep them under check, like always, because no company is going to be completely altruistic. Like if you're going to try to find that. For what, like, let's say Android phone, iPhone, you're not going to find a company that's going to be an altruistic enough, I think.
I don't know, man. It's just
maybe some Android builders, maybe, but yeah.
Like, honestly, if I wanted the government to get off my back, I would have accepted Fortnite into the App Store because, like, if this just makes them look even worse, and this might strengthen the government's case against Apple for monopolistic. I forget what the exact criminal charge was, though, to be honest, but
yeah, it's really hard. I think they should have tried to broker a deal of like, because I think Epic trying to completely circumvent, and we even had a comment about this like a week or two, like Apple shouldn't get any money, but it's like, what are you fucking talking about? They still have to distribute the game. Like they still should get money for having the game on there. Like they still have to use a lot of their resources. Like if they don't get any money from this, then they're in a huge net loss. But it should be a reasonable sum, 5-10%, whatever it is. Like trying to circumvent the system is a little shady too on Epic's side, and other people. Like I've worked with companies where they're like, well, we want to try to circumvent it as much as possible, which I understand because it's a 30% cut. If Apple really wanted to try to curtail this, they wouldn't do a 30% cut on, like, let's say, an in-app DLC thing that doesn't cost them anything. They don't even distribute it. There needs to be some reasonable fares here. Like, it's fucking crazy that we can't get to common ground in today's age of, like, 10% for something that they don't do anything to distribute. Sorry, this is like really, really frustrating thing for me over the years. And one of the things I didn't use Apple for a while, but like Android does the same thing at times too. So I'm like, I don't know.
Well, the difference is that you can sideload on Android.
I can technically sideload on Apple too.
Technically, but like it's a lot more involved. I don't know the exact. I don't even know the exact process.
I can build and put stuff on my phone all I want. If I get like the build for it, or there's reversed engineered stuff. We don't need to go in.
But it's super easy on Android. All you have to do is download the APK and disable that setting that doesn't let you install APKs off the internet, and then just run it, and voila, Fortnite on Android.
I honestly really, there's nothing I want to sideload.
Yeah, I don't. There isn't too much
Back
I
in
want
the
to
day,
say.
maybe, but like almost everything else, I don't care. I think a lot of people that want to sideload is usually people that are stealing games and stuff like that and don't want to pay for it. And yeah, pirating that is. I don't agree with that. I also don't like you do you with what money you have, but at the end of the day, like I don't know, I don't care. I do wish that Apple would have a different allow multiple app stores though to be more open. But I also understand why they don't want to, and I think it's a valid reason. But it is a very, I don't know, sorry, I'm getting really deep into this. It's a very, in my opinion, a convoluted issue that's not an easy one to resolve, but I think a good step would be Apple not charging so fucking much. Yes, sorry. I'm off my soapbox.
So I also recently got an email from Patreon detailing what changes have been made, given the recent fallout with the Apple case. And now you can subscribe directly on Patreon because I don't know if you guys know this, but I don't think you were able to do so on the iOS app.
No,
you couldn't subscribe. Yeah, you couldn't subscribe to anyone's Patreon through the iOS app, and now you can because you don't have to get through Apple anymore. So, and I mean, Spotify, you couldn't do the same thing either. You couldn't subscribe to Spotify through the app itself. You had to go use a computer and then use a web browser to do it.
Yeah.
Which I think that's fair.
So all of these companies were already trying to circumvent Apple's 30% fee.
Well, I mean, they've been doing it ever since it was a thing. I'm just curious if an app makes money, but all their revenue is not through Apple, and Apple doesn't make a single cent. They're just losing out. Why would they want to then have that app on their app store? I don't understand.
Probably, if I had to guess, probably user retention.
But it costs money. Like I get it. Like they're a $1 trillion company, but I mean you got to give a little. I don't know. It just seems like a little bit of a.
I had to guess.
Not a fair.
It's more about Apple having people in the ecosystem than it is Apple losing out every so often. Like, say, for example, an app that they don't make money off of. Because what matters, it's like Microsoft. What matters in the end is that people are using iPhones in the US a lot, and they maintain that hegemony.
I agree. I just don't think it's fair. And I know that's weird to say about a $1 trillion company. I just don't know if I go as far as fair. But
I don't know, man. It's a weird situation.
It is. That's why I want like a nice little compromise in between.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about Fortnite this week.
Oh well.
I wonder if Hideo Kojima has anything to say about that in his mythical USB stick of game ideas. So, for those who don't know, Hideo Kojima, creator of Metal Gear and also very recently Death Stranding, has turned 60. And during the pandemic, he got pretty sick, all things considered, and he was confronted by his mortality. And as such, that inspired him to give his personal assistant a USB stick full of game ideas, so that Koji Pro could make those game ideas if, and I guess ultimately when, he dies. And what are you guys' thoughts on this?
I'm trying to think of what I would do. Would I have anything that I could put onto a thumb drive?
It's effectively your will. It's effectively his will, basically.
Maybe that's not. I mean, it's a cool idea. I wouldn't mind doing something along those lines of just nothing that I some stuff I don't complete, just throw it in there.
So he had some concern. So he was concerned that if he didn't do this and he died, that Kojima Productions would just be limited to maintaining existing IPs and not make new original games, essentially. And that was his big concern. And also, I kind of empathize with him. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, what would happen to our channels if we all died? We wouldn't know what to do, right?
The channel will.
So it might not be a bad idea to make a USB stick and put like your final video. Please upload this on YouTube. Combined with your YouTube username and password, combined with your Steam stuff too, so that you can pass down your Steam account to your descendants. It'll be your ancestral Steam account. You know, Valve says that they won't. That sounds fun. If I remember correctly, Valve says that they wouldn't help you like get your Steam account or whatever in case you died or in case a relative died or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I wonder what's going to happen if like a Steam account's been active for like 200 years and Valve is still around and Steam is still around.
I think that'd be awesome. An ancestral Steam account sounds awesome.
It's your family heirloom.
I often like dream about like if technology that like the technology we have today was ancient, right? Like if it respected human beings, then it would just be like such a different world. Like what if in like Roman times we developed computers and we developed them to the point where they're like as far as they can be like physically developed. And so then they just became like these heirlooms of like ancient wisdom and record. That has such an appeal to me. I don't know why. Totally random, but
well, hey man, that happens in quite a few works. Like Horizon Zero Dawn is kind of that way too.
Yeah,
it's like an advanced civilization, but I haven't played the game, so I'm not familiar with the lore or what happens in the game. Probably some apocalypse happens, and they're living like tribal lives, but they have all these mechanical dinosaurs and stuff they hunt and turn into weapons and shit.
There are like some ships in Star Wars that are like centuries old, which I find fascinating too.
Yep.
Yeah,
dude, your
like
family
a generation ship, like, you know, if you like left for a planet like far away on a generation ship, that would be so cool. I love that idea,
dude.
I don't know.
What about Gabe Newell's heirloom yachts that he's gonna probably give to his son, at least one?
He has multiple, so.
Well, hey, there we go. I could be the janitor for one of those yachts, or I get to take it out. I'll do
there
that.
you go.
I'll be that.
Hey, Gabe Newell, it's me, your illegitimate son. I deserve a yacht.
Exactly,
dude. It's interesting though. I mean, I think the moral of the story this week is get a USB flash drive with all of your usernames and passwords for whatever you want to pass down. And the emails are associated as well. And then, in that case, get ready for.
All my passwords are in my Apple's password manager, and my wife has access to it. Like we have a shared. So.
Nice.
And I think that Apple even has like a whole system for doing it, like handoffs and stuff. So.
Does Google
that's
have
an interesting one? Yeah, like companies, like some of these big companies need to start thinking about
what happens when their user base dies.
Yeah, and how if other people can inherit stuff.
Well,
like a digital will.
Well, I think Google has a policy that lets you do that. Yeah, like if you have proof of their ownership and that they died, then they will let you change the password and give you access to their email or whatever.
That could be an interesting, very morbid concept for a website. Digital, like tombstone or something like that, where you get a will. You also get like a place to put your little headstone, what you're known for. Pass on other stuff.
Are we selling these this graveyards? Are we selling like spots in this graveyard as NFTs?
Oh my god. You'll exist
Honestly,
on the blockchain
it would be
forever.
a valid reason to use an NFT. I'm sorry, like there are valid reasons to use them, and that would be one. But Sure, I don't know. Like,
I don't know.
make a digital world where people can go and step on other people's graves, I guess.
When my mom passed away, I had to like get into her Google account, and I didn't see any way of like doing like a
Dang. I don't know then. Maybe I'm mistaken, or maybe Google.
Facebook has a way of doing something like that, but
Maybe I was thinking of Facebook. Yeah. Well, I mean,
Facebook.
what we know is that Valve has a firm policy. They do not give a fuck if you die.
You can eat shit.
They do not care if you die. What matters is
Here's the thing. I have a feeling that because Valve's so small, they're just like, we don't even want to have to deal with that. We don't have the manpower to deal with that.
yeah. So I mean, I don't see them banning accounts that are well past like a normal person's lifespan. Because like,
if as long as they don't have any clauses, especially when you signed up, which I signed up pretty much in the beta of Counter-Strike Source. I doubt there was anything in there. It's like, oh yeah, as long as you have this account, if it's 90 years, we take ownership back.
yeah. Will Valve stop you from sharing your password with your relatives when you die?
Doubt it, because they don't stop it sometimes when hackers get it. But
Sometimes, not all the time.
sometimes. So, from my understanding, the Switch 2, you don't own the Switch 2, right? So when you buy it, they have a whole like clause in there. You don't own it, you're renting it, kind of thing. So if you die, does the Switch team come up and like, okay, this is ours now?
Dude.
Imagine if they had lawyers just like, okay, we got to reclaim that. It's a repo. We got to repossess it.
Repossess your Steam games? That's crazy.
But like Switch 2 and all your Switch games.
I wouldn't put it past Nintendo to do that.
Wow, that's a very...
I wouldn't either, but
what are they going to do? Raid my house? What are they going to do? Raid my house and take all my physical copies?
I mean...
Have you read the fine print? Does it not say that in the Nintendo Online agreement?
I don't know. For all I know, there could be a clause that could turn us into a human Sentai pad.
Yeah.
Oh, gross.
That's the second South Park reference today.
Yes, that is.
Read your terms and conditions, children.
Yeah.
You might be turned into a human Sentai pad by Apple.
That's funny. Funny enough, though, in all reality, there's a lot of things that companies try to get away with in their clauses that just aren't legal. And I think that'd be one of them. Well, they're trying really hard, but it's like, it's not really...
Yeah, you like, terms and conditions are not legally binding contracts, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like, unfortunately for companies. Fortunate for us, though.
Yeah.
And thankfully, they can't enforce anything illegal either. So
yeah, if you buy, let's say Switch 2, it's not like they can just repossess it without no reason. Like the courts would have a heyday. There's no amount of money that would be able to get you past that unless they change the law directly, which I guess maybe.
Right, because all right. So what we do?
Okay, let's continue giving Nintendo some good ideas next week.
Yeah, yeah. You know what Nintendo should do though? They should go all Gestapo and like take all of our physical copies if we get banned from Nintendo's online services. Nintendo go into our house. They don't need a search warrant. They just come in. They sneak in. They steal my copy of all my Zelda games. Hell, they even steal my Steam account too, because they can apparently. Man, I don't know what to make. I don't know. Do you guys think Valve will let your family keep your 200-year-old Steam account? That's what I want to know, because...
Yes, I think so. But who knows? 200 years... we could end up in idiocracy, so who knows what's going to come from that. The movie, I'm referencing the movie, where you're just...
Yes, I remember the movie. It was pretty funny. But unfortunately... It's become a lot more true than we expected.
Yeah.
I mean, Crocs are a thing.
I kind of like Crocs. I like my Croc flip-flops that I had. I fucking broke 2 weeks ago.
Before Crocs were ever popular, they were like the shoe that everyone was wearing in Idiocracy. Did you know that?
Yeah. Yep.
Dude, like Idiocracy might have contributed to the popularity of Crocs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I'm 100% serious, my dude. 100% serious.
I definitely remember seeing. Oh my god, that makes so much sense. Did they popularize Uggs as well? I remember seeing that a lot in high school.
I don't know about Uggs.
I don't know about that, but no, it's
They're really comfortable too. One of my friends had.
so. There are a couple of nice Crocs where they're like more premium, where they don't look like Crocs, but beyond that, yeah.
I had a really nice pair of Croc flip-flops, and they were really comfortable, and they broke on me like a few weeks ago, and I had them for like 5 years.
Hey, that's good. At least they held up.
I know you guys haven't seen Andor season 2 yet, but there's a shoe that Clea wears when she's like getting into the hospital in like the nurse's outfit, and I was like, whoa, that actually looks kind of nice and comfortable, and it's kind of plasticky. It looks like Crocs kind of, but yeah,
It might be rubber. Crocs are made out of rubber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude. Why are we talking about
You
Crocs?
just secretly want Crocs.
I don't want Crocs, but I do want the shoes she's wearing.
What if they were Crocs though?
I mean, if Crocs made those shoes, I would be interested.
Crocs do make a lot of I do not like original Crocs, but like they've made some pretty interesting ones since.
Yeah.
What a weird origin.
Did anything? Let's see if anything else happened in the world of gaming. Palworld. If you guys didn't know, Palworld had to remove gliding pals.
Gliding?
So, alright, so, like, in Palworld,
how's that fucking patented?
Alright, so, in Palworld, for those who don't know, you could glide one of two ways. One, you could use an item glider that lets you glide, and you don't need a Pokemon at all. Or two, if you have the special equipment for your pals, you could use them to glide instead. And I think some of them had better stats than, like, your basic, like, wooden glider or whatever. And unfortunately, they had to remove that because of the Nintendo lawsuit, and they acknowledged that was because of the lawsuit.
Yeah, I still don't know. Like, that's derivative work. I have a hard time with all this. Like, I get it, plagiarism, but like, there gets a point where you just like, that's a good idea. I want to implement it in mine.
So here's the fun part, though. Pocket Pair was already demoing Palworld in 2021, including gliding pals. Sorry.
You're not helping their case.
But, yeah. 6 months before Nintendo patented that shit.
Yeah.
So...
I don't understand.
They don't have any, like, as long as you can prove that, there is nothing they can do about it. That's interesting.
Are we talking about, like, your player character mounting and riding a flying pal? Is that what we're talking about?
Well, no, what you do is you, like, hang on. Like, you know those hang gliders in Breath of the Wild?
Yeah.
Imagine that, but, like, instead of a hang glider, it's a pal that's, like, slowly...
emotionally and physically abused pal that you ride, or that you fly with. Yeah.
Yeah,
but, like, how is that protectable under copyright or patents or anything? It doesn't make any sense.
Because Nintendo patented it, obviously. I don't know.
It's not supposed to be, though. That's the thing.
It's not supposed to be, but fucking Nintendo did it.
It's not supposed to be.
Like, Rescuers Down Under, my guy. Like, they're hanging on a bird's leg or whatever. What is this? What is prior art, man?
You know, maybe they owe Nintendo some back due royalties, patent royalties, obviously. I don't know, man. It's crazy that Nintendo can drastically change a game, because there are two major mechanics that got changed. First and foremost was this gliding mechanic. Now those same pals just give you a buff to your non-Pokemon gliders. Mm. But there was another mechanic that was removed earlier, and that was the ability to throw your Pokeball. Like, so basically, you could throw your pal balls to summon them in whatever location you threw the ball at. Mm-hmm. They removed that mechanic. Now it just kind of pops up beside you, which is super lame. But I can't blame Palworld for that because of Nintendo. It was Nintendo's fault.
We gotta get rid of these things. It hurts creative works, in my opinion, because everything's derivative. I'm sorry. There's only a few things that could be kind of original, but then you could probably come to the conclusion that it was derived from something else.
Yeah. So, like, honestly, man,
We're not going to have any original games. We're not going to have any interesting games because they'll use one little aspect that was derived from something else. It's not like they're copying artwork. Literally assets. Very different.
well, I'm not sure what to make of it, to be honest. I mean, even if you don't like Palworld as a game, you cannot let Nintendo win these. You cannot be for Nintendo for these stupid software patents. Because it's going to end up
software patents.
It's going to end up stifling, like James said, it's going to end up stifling not just competition but also innovation as well.
Yeah.
Like, remember the Nemesis system? I think we always talk about this system. But
Yeah, I hate that. I hate how that's...
yeah, and like the soonest we'll be able to use the Nemesis system in any game is like 10 years from now. So, yeah, by then, I mean, someone might make a really good version of the Nemesis system, but like that's a long time to wait. Some people may die.
They're not even using it.
They're not even using it. Yeah, that's right. They're busy like canceling movies and stuff. WB, fuck them.
Patents really do help value a company, though, so I understand why they're trying to do it. But we got to get rid of software patents 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
They're just... there's almost... I don't know how you prove that you put millions of dollars into like trying to build out a system. Like even the Nemesis system, I have a feeling like just wasn't like that much research put into it. It was just a way you built the game out.
Well, you spend couple $1,000s on like the actual research and development, and then you spend the rest on like snacks.
Well, it could be a lot more than that, but
or you spend the rest on like snacks or whatever.
Doesn't warrant a patent though. It's not like anything physical.
Yeah,
we don't need to get it. We've gotten into this a lot in the past, but yeah.
Yeah, let's see if anything else happened. Oh yeah, Stellar Blade is a PlayStation game technically. It has DRM, de novo. That sucks. De novo sucks.
It does suck, but they usually remove it after the first few weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, anywhere between like the first few weeks and like the first like 6 months.
Okay,
but
see. If it's to curtail that, I'm a little more on the bench about it, but
some games keep it on for like ever. Like
yeah, I don't
mostly
like
Asian
that.
games. I believe a lot of Sega games still have de novo. Like let's see, does Persona 5 Royal still have de novo?
If it does, it doesn't affect the performance because that game runs great on the Steam Deck.
Well, it's also not like a super graphically intense game, so there probably isn't too much to. There isn't too much. All right, so it seems like they haven't removed de novo yet. At least we haven't seen any news of that happening. So, a lot of Asian games are very protective of like. They're very against
their
piracy.
IP.
Yeah, they're very protective of their IPs.
Well, even modifying their game, you can get put in jail in Japan, which is just
and while
crazy.
Stellar Blade is Korean, Koreans tend to have very similar sentiments.
Yeah,
it's interesting to see. I mean, I don't know what to make of it besides that, and I think that covers it for this week. I don't think they have any more topics on hand. There were a lot of really big topics, but aside from that, though, not a whole lot's happened this week.
Which we're ending a little early compared to other times. People should go out and try out Expedition 33 if you have not done so. You can at least try it on Xbox's Game Pass, and you could always get a free trial and try it out. So
I would also try out the 100-line Last Defense Academy too.
I'll have to.
I think you'd really like it, James. It's not really.
I probably would.
It's not really like a
JRPG.
JRPG. It's more like a hybrid of like a visual novel plus like a tower defense, like turn-based strategy sort of game.
I do like tower defense quite a bit, actually. What was the name of it again?
The 100-line Last Defense Academy. It was among like the top-selling games of last month, alongside
The
Claire
the
Obscure.
problem is the name's so long and it has characters in it, so like I tend to.
It has characters in it.
Yeah, well, it's got like the dash in there. Dash Last Defense Academy dash. So it's just all kind of gumbled up in the title.
Dude, I'm sure if you looked up just the 100-line, it'll be.
I don't know. I found it. I'm just saying, like it makes me forget about things if they make it overcomplicated for titles. Even Claire Obscure Expedition 33 is a little much. for a title.
Does anyone call it Clair Obscure? I've only ever heard people call it Expedition 33.
I mean, I only call it Expedition 33 because, yeah.
Fair
I don't
enough.
want to say the whole thing. What other game's called Expedition 33?
What about the sequel, Expedition 34?
It's okay. Here's how silly that is. Go play the game because it wouldn't be a sequel; it'd be a prequel. But yeah.
All right, Expedition 32.
I mean, there you go.
There we
But
go.
I don't think there's gonna be a sequel. From my understanding, there how it ends. Like they could have a spiritual sequel, but I don't know about it. It's probably gonna be like a Final Fantasy kind of esque thing where they don't really have sequels. Well, until more recently. But yeah. Okay. That's all I have to say. I just had to say people need to go try out Expedition 33.
All
It's
right.
really fun.
I definitely need to try it out, though, to be honest. I've been meaning to try it out. It's just I can't juggle too many games at this point. I don't have I would need to be like one of those perpetual no-lifers to play all the games I really wanted to play.
I hear you on that. I have my games that I play, but especially for you, High Tech, I think you're gonna like. This is a title you need to get to this year because this definitely seems like something you'd like. So
Yeah. So also, I forgot to mention you should like and subscribe, and like and subscribe on YouTube. You should also check us out on check out our other episodes on your various podcasting services. I think I think we mostly get views on Apple Podcasts. Is that correct, Gardner?
I don't know how it breaks down from the different services, but like our audio feed is the most popular thing compared to YouTube.
Yes. If you're listening on the audio feed, please support us on YouTube as well. You don't have to watch the episode again on YouTube.
Yeah,
But just like and subscribe us, and
that's
or
appreciated
if you
for sure.
really like us, you just sync up the audio just right so you can listen to it on the podcast and on YouTube.
Yeah.
oh shit, that's what I like to hear. Anyways, any closing thoughts, Gardner? I know you didn't really have one.
No, I mean check out the audio feed, check out the YouTube channel. Check out our YouTube channels independently, which they're pretty fun.
We should do more collaborations in the future too.
Absolutely.
I need to release more videos. Yes.
Same thing. All right, take care, y'all.
See ya.
Okay. Later.